There are 867 woodlot licenses in British Columbia, and they provide so much more than timber. Forestry camps like Silver Lake, Evans Lake, and Blue Lake, which partner with a woodlot, are a favored destination for youth during the summer holidays. Many woodlot licenses host students of all ages, from elementary school to university during the school year, providing an educational opportunity to explore all aspects of managing a forest. An educational walk in the woods can include lessons in things as simple as identifying tree species and counting tree rings, and as complex as managing watersheds and wildlife habitat in a sustainable working forest. Most woodlot licenses have the benefit of proximity to communities, making it easy access for field trips year-round. International students extend their post-secondary studies with yearly placements at one Vancouver Island woodlot, creating a unique opportunity to exchange ideas and learn about forestry practices in other countries. Others are actually operated by secondary schools, universities, and colleges, providing a venue for a hands-on, practical curriculum focused on job readiness, whether in forestry, natural resources, logging, or the trades. One comprehensive forestry program at a Kelowna High School, Rutland Secondary School, uses neighboring woodlot licenses as training grounds to apply skills such as brushing, tree planting, burning, and surveying. Another high school program, Charles Bloom Secondary School in Lumbee, has been operating a job-ready forestry program with a trades component for decades as well, on its own woodlot license in the picturesque Christian Valley. A woodlot on Vancouver Island takes the outdoor classroom concept to the next level, running a project-based learning school that teaches math, sciences, English, and social studies to a select group of students in Port Alberni. The School of Common Sense is leaving a legacy of learning that proves students can succeed in a non-traditional setting, getting practical skills along with the basic provincial curriculum.
Packs of 5.
I know this one.
You like
I've
it?
seen this kind. I had this one at home, and my dad told me all about it.
The other pine like this that we have on the site here is the lodgepole pine.
And they only have 2, and they're in a twist.
Well, in the beginning, with regard to education, I think for me it started in '76 or so. Partly when I went to university, I got a summer job driving Brewster buses in Banff and Lake Louise, and giving tours all over the Canadian Rockies from Banff back to Vancouver. And so we would tour people around and teach them about the Canadian history of the Rockies and the culture and ecosystems that I knew about at the time there. And my interest in education was founded in that. When we competed for our woodlot, Dave and I, we made a commitment to the high school there that we would help them with their education with regard to woodlot management and forest management. And this was a request for proposal put out by the Ministry of Education at Victoria level to compete for funding. They were putting up $40,000 a year to a school district that had wanted to take on this idea of teaching in a different setting than just a classroom setting, and they called it project-based learning. This was a different approach than their normal curriculum.
The gnome trees, I believe Mr. DeBrack said it was a cross between 2 different trees. Oh, yes, yeah.
Well, I was in the forestry program in 95, 96, and 97. My original goal was to become a registered professional forester. And that's why I took the career prep forestry program through ADSS. And Sean and Dave came online with Brian Laviolette, who was the instructor at the time, and they coordinated this hands-on training through GreenMax. They became one of our work experience sponsors. So you could go out and work with them in the bush so you got the hands-on experience. So I believe I was one of the first students out there that initially started out on the GreenMax. I found it to be better for me, as reading a book, you only get so much, but when you can take and apply your hands, you gather so much more. At least I do. I find I can learn a lot more from that.
This is all the new growth the tree is putting on this in this growing season right here. So western white pine has 5 needles. It's a really quick way to figure it out.
I'm the instructor of the Project-Based Learning 9 program, which is Alberni District Secondary Schools look at turning education on its head. We instruct math, English, science, socials, and leadership out here at the Woodlot and Christmas Tree Farm as part of our long-term partnership with GreenMax and Sean and Dave with their Woodlot program that they've been operating here for 20-some years. Well, over the years we've grown significantly, not just in the numbers of students, but in the public awareness of what we do out here. It is a provincially recognized program. We are moving next year to a grade 10 program, and as well we've also built a grade 11 and 12 forestry program or sustainable resource management programs out of this facility.
The soft parts are kind of soft.
Yeah. Just be very careful when.
Anyways, ow.
So this project first came about because we had the opportunity with the Ministry of Education to apply to be part of a pilot project in project-based learning. So each of 8 schools throughout the province put forward 8 very different proposals. And the proposal that we chose to put together as a secondary school was one related to integrated studies in an outdoor setting.
Slowly, it should be in the ground, but it seems to work when it's on the surface. But you can see how happy that tree is. What do you guys think? Grade zeros or -1?
Oh, they were getting really freaked out.
Yeah. My wife thinks they're grade zeros. I think they're -1.
They're smaller than the small tank. We get to learn about all types of wilderness things. And in the classroom, I didn't really do that well doing just tests and all that on paper. I find it really easier just to go out here and learn.
Well, there used to be a large wood pile, and we'd go out there and we'd find out how to measure the wood. So we would do a board foot, and we'd find out what a board foot was, and then we would do all the measurements and find out how much wood would be in that pile, just to kind of as an exercise to help us with our math. Yeah, we're learning a lot of science. We learn some history sometimes, and we have a lot of class discussions about history, and we do lots of math and English out here because we're always writing. Well, not always, of course, but whenever we're in the building doing math or something, we're writing, so we're doing English as well at the same time, so it's a very good program.
And try to answer their questions. Their questions will be varied and unique.
But they will soon.
You can sort of see that it looks a little bit like a frog with a tail and no legs.
All they have is their tails, and then they start to grow more, and then get rid of the sack on the bottom.
And they like to do things from a holistic perspective, and that's the point of project-based learning, is how do we take that academic learning, which has been separated into its discipline for curricular reasons, and put it all back together in terms of what real life is about.
We eventually decided on a location to build the building, which was back in the Christmas Tree Farm, about a kilometer's walk from the airport office. So that was part of their learning, was to pick out the building location based on the sun, the weather, the drainage, how big it was going to be. We sat out our 20 kids right on the ground there, measured them up, figured out how much space they needed, and then with the help of my partner Dave and his son Russell, and myself and the students, we started to build it. And that was a great year for the first year going.
Yeah, these are called Douglas fir trees. This one's fairly new, only a couple years old, and these trees are your Christmas trees.
Oh, wow.
So once this gets old enough and big enough, it gets cut down and gets put in your living room. And then Santa can bring all the presents and put it under.
Oh, cool. You don't just like sit in a classroom and just like do the work that's on the board. You actually get to measure out an amount of logs or something. Like you get to go and do stuff.
Yeah, we get to fertilize the trees, we get to plant trees, we get to prune trees.
Yeah, it saves the tree though. Mm-hmm. Then we can grow another Christmas tree here because this is like our U-cut area. So.
We know this tree has
Why is what is this place? What is this place? There's a forest. Well, our vision here is to look at integrating from kindergarten all the way through grade 12 and beyond in some post-secondary partnerships, education out here as a real vehicle for student learning, to bring every student in every grade out here as part of an essential component of what they learn in our public school systems. I think it's our ethical responsibility to ensure that our students have a very strong understanding of not only what our environment is, what ecosystems are, how they operate, but to do more than just learn from it in a textbook, to be able to see it, feel it, to touch it and smell it and taste it, and interact with it in a way that you can't do with the pages of a book.
What? My dad said it was a good group at our house.
Yeah, we actually do that. We're actually doing an invasive species unit, so we're going out and pulling up a bunch of this stuff.
They also said Scott's room was good to put on the sides of the rows, so
that was a long time ago though. So now they're trying to get rid of it all.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
they added the yellow flowers too. Actually, they house a lot of ticks. The yellow flowers.
Oh, does it? The ticks are really bad this year.
The ticks really like the yellow flowers.
So the attendance for the kids in that program went way up. Their engagement with their learning went way up. Their academic achievement went way up. But the most important thing for us as a school was that the students achieved a sense of self-confidence that they may not have otherwise achieved, because they had proven to themselves that they could do this stuff, that they could learn this math and this science and produce really good work in English and be able to do the public speaking. And all of that was part of the program. All of that was developed between Sean and Dave and Ryan. And all of that, as a school, we made sure hit each one of those core academic outcomes.
I'm good. I don't like fish.
Oh, of course you don't.
That's not a fish. It's a reptile. No.
Can you grab the stick?
A frog's not a fish, it's a reptile. Well, same thing. I don't like them. I'm scared of them, honestly.
How come they're having so much fun? And how come they were learning so much? All of the kids that graduated from that year, and it really turned their lives around, some of them. And we started to get more and more support from the school as well, as they got to see those students change over the years.
The kids are benefiting from it, right? There's nothing wrong where a generation can benefit from another generation's experience, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of knowledge that can be handed down, right? Not all those kids are going to become professional foresters or even work in the forestry sector. But for a few of them, it's going to be that spark that lights the fire that allows them to move forward with it, right? They might have hummed and hawed. Now they go out and they get their hands dirty. Heck, this is what I want to do. Or no, I don't want to do this. I don't like the rain and the cold and this and that and the bugs. And then the next person, that could be where they're at home.
The dry ones are a little foamy.
They're foamy for sure. What color is this?
Brown. Brown.
What color is that?
Brownish orange.
What do you think? Is it green?
Hey,
No.
Aiden, what color is
Not
that?
a boy. Not a boy. That's kind of a beigey color, kind of brown.
It's kind of like a brown orange.
Yeah, a brownie orange. We know it's not purple, that's for sure, right?
Yeah. Or green.
Here you go,
Well,
guys.
you're
You can
right.
pass this around.
It can get a bit bigger.
They're cool, yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool.
They are a little bit pokey, aren't they?
Well, when I first
Yeah. Do you want to move on and we can talk about tree stumps growing out trees?
Hey, I see another one over there.
It teaches you how to work in a working environment. Like, it teaches you how to do construction and stuff like that in the trades.
Yeah, there's a lot of trades, and it opens up a lot of job opportunities, as some people don't get to start so early in things like knowing what a board foot is or knowing the different types of trees. So it definitely helps a lot for the trades industry and anything.
There's tremendous interest in the part of this community in its success and its results. So we do want to see it continue, and we will do whatever we can in order to ensure that the program does continue and that does continue to be successful.
And I'm hoping also to transfer more of this learning style into the school, not just ADSS, but you know, provincially. I'd like to see this style of learning, this approach, more widely used. It's been a very, very positive thing for everybody. So it's great to do that, because it's not, there is no argument about why. There might be argument about how, but not why. So that part's great, you know, and the support we get, and it gets from everybody, is just really good.
Woodlot licenses offer a broad range of education to all age groups, be it forestry related, skills oriented, school curriculum, or a general appreciation of our forests. Fortunately, there are some dedicated individuals and forest educators who see the value in using the forest as an outdoor classroom.